guys, welcome to Dad to Dan. In these episodes you will learn 1. How to present your product or service in a face-to-face sales call. 2. How to effectively use sales aids, brochures, product samples, or even what to do if you don't have any at all. And 3. This is part of our series on the perfect sales call. So follow the link below and you'll be able to see the whole video stream.
So this is going to be a series of 5 short videos. The first video is going to be the basics, what you need to do, what your thinking needs to be about when you do a face-to-face sales presentation. The second video will be on when you use a sales aid. The first one will be a brochure. How do you effectively use a brochure to add some colour and some visuality to the presentation? Thirdly, it's going to be samples. You've got some product samples and you're using those. How do you use those? How do you keep control of them and sort of the customers are getting hold of them and playing around with them? Fourth, we're going to say, well, what if you've got nothing? You've got no visual aid to help you in your sales presentation. What are you going to do then? How can you create a vision for the customer of your product? And then the fifth one was really how do you use tablets and computers, modern technology? How can you use that a similar way you do with a brochure? Now these are all separate videos. You can pick the one you want by clicking on the link here, or just run this one and they're all run concurrently and you can listen to them all. Cheers.
So Dad, now we're looking at when you've got a brochure and you're presenting to the customer with that. What's the sort of key areas when you're using a brochure?
Well, a brochure is basically a visual visual aid to your presentation. So the visuals within the brochure should back up and be clear. If it's done by a good marketing team, somebody like myself, and then it should show you the sort of key big visuals, big easy to see visuals on the key features of the product. And it should be a storyboard. It should start off with the issues that the product's there to address, goes on to how the product addresses those, and then goes what that means for you, what the benefits are for the customers. And you should be able to talk the customer through using the brochure as a sort of a storyboard to those. And the key thing is to control that brochure. Don't just give it to the customer. Use it as for your pictorial aid. So when you want to make a point to something in the brochure, and then when you're talking to them, close the brochure and look them in the eye.
I think we're quite good. What we'll do is we'll show you actually a bit of footage, and Dad will actually show you how to do that, and that should help you out quite a bit.
Yep.
So here I am using a brochure, and as you can see I've got a pen to point to things. If you haven't got a pen, you've got to use your hands. Make sure they're clean hands. And if you've got fancy fingernails, it's not always a good idea. People tend to be looking at your fingernails and your hands, not the picture. But again, use it if you've got something to say. Close the brochure and talk to them in the eye to make a point, and then open it up and review back to the visuals you want them to see. If they do try to take it, simply fold it and look at them in the eye and start talking to them. It's quite natural and it stops them taking hold of the brochure. Here we're doing it standing up. Ideally, standing up, you want to do it side by side, a sort of consultative way. We're together doing this. Again, close it when you want to speak to them and look them in the eye. Use your hands to show it. On desk is probably the most difficult one because you've got a barrier inside, between you. If you can, try to get to the side of them so they can you can present more in a consultative way. If this feels awkward, you could always sit to the side of them, and that gives them a little bit of a half barrier, and they might feel comfortable, particularly if it's a female. If they do happen to pick up the brochure, then simply say something like, oh, excuse me, can I just show you something? Actually, I just want to show you something, and pause them, and then take hold of the brochure and show them. That will get control back over it. To stop them picking up, generally, especially on a desk, if you keep your left hand or your right hand, one of the hands on it at all times, then they won't pick it up. I hope this has been of help. Got any questions? Please add it in the comments of the YouTube.